Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, I've got 3 things I want to talk to you about in this video, but also I've got quite a bit of waffle to tell you. I've been cleaning up a crime scene myself this morning in my own house. It's like not one day can go past without something dramatic happening in this house. I'm going to tell you about that as well. I want to say thank you to you all for watching. Thank you to my members, especially it's members live tonight. So why not think about becoming a member? You might notice I'm a little bit traumatized, and I'm going to explain why. And I just want to put out a little warning, because I'm going to show you a couple of photos that you might find upsetting. Everything's fine, but anyway, I'll explain that shortly. So yeah, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, thank you for everything positive you do to contribute to my channel. Thank you for those of you who've bought Ko-fis, sent PayPals, or gosh, I actually feel a little bit dizzy and that. So anyway, you'll see why. Gosh, talk about trauma. How do these murderers do it? You know, how do they do it? How do they clear up crime scenes and dismember people and stuff like that? I mean, you've got to have a high level of dissociation, haven't you, to be able to do anything like that and then act like a normal person. I mean, what I'm going to tell you about is nothing like that, obviously, though it's quite dramatic. You know, and I nearly cancelled the live that I was planning, but I thought, no, I'm going to do the live because it's members tonight, so I won't be on live tonight, except to members. And I had these 3 stories that I want to tell you about. But I actually, if I faint in the middle of the live stream, you know, I'll just be fainted at the desk or whatever. Sorry, so where am I? So also then I made a complete cock up of the times. I put the time as 11 o'clock p.m. and it's actually 11 o'clock a.m. Spanish time. So I'm going to put on a couple of some promotional videos about my books actually to start with, just so that I recover and maybe can get going, but also give people a chance to come onto the live. But I just want to tell you as well, I will be chopping this up into 3 short videos, the 3 different cases without the waffle, and releasing it. So if you don't like waffle, that's fair enough. Come back later or watch the videos later. So first thing I just want to tell you about is, don't forget, if you want to know more about me and my life story, there's always something going on in my life. Let's have a look at the book for that first of all. Where I can find it. Well, it's here somewhere. There it is. Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Did you ever want to know a little bit more about me and my background, how I came to become interested in true crime, how I ended up in Spain being a Spanish teacher? If you want to know a little bit about me, a little bit more about me as a person, you can find my book, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, on any Amazon site, wherever you live in the world. And I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and this is my story. So it's the story of how I grew up in Manchester in the UK, on a council estate, and very humble beginnings, and my journey through personal tragedies, disastrous romances, and triumphs to become a single mum, a Spanish teacher, and an interpreter living in Spain, and eventually a YouTuber reporting on true crime. So it details my various experiences with people and places over 20 years of teaching, over 20 years now. Ooh, where did that go? Of teaching Spanish and interpreting through the backdrop of the recession, financial uncertainty, severe flooding, and living through COVID. I hope you will find it funny, sad, amazing, silly, serious, and stranger than fiction at times. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to make you angry at least once. I hope to make you cry at least twice, and I hope to make you laugh many, many times. So thank you for all your support on my YouTube channel, and if you want to know a little bit more about me as a person, then you can find out there. So thank you so much. See you very soon in the next video. And as always, till then, may your God go with you. Bye. Hey, so yeah, I just had to take some deep breaths. I'm going to explain to you why. I think you'll understand. So hi, Daniel. Hi, David. Hi, Bluebell. Sorry, I'm fine now. So yeah, let me tell you what happened this morning. Now, it seems like every day I've got a dramatic story to tell, but really that is how my life is sometimes. So everything's, I thought, oh yeah, I've got no classes today, got a nice quiet day. I'll be able to do this live this morning. Got the members live later on this evening. Just nice lunch in between, just a normal day. And I thought, yep, got up, did the normal things, coffee, and got ready to take the dogs out. So take my little dogs, Rocky and Riley. Rocky and Riley. Rocky is the darker dog and Riley is the white dog. Now, Rocky is the more dominant dog, definitely. And they do fight like sometimes, but it's like play fighting. It's, occasionally there's like a bit more of a dramatic. The thing is, Riley, let me just show you Riley, because for those of you who don't know which dog's which, Riley is the white dog, and he is, let's say, the less dominant dog, and he's very gentle. So this is Rocky and Riley. Rocky is the darker dog. He's the more dominant one. And Riley is, I'm sorry, I'm showing it in the chat, not on the thing. And Riley's very gentle, but he does make a racket. So, like, God, you've only got to look at him sometimes and he'll make this weird because he's a Podenco, and he makes this weird sort of noise, very strange noise that Podencos do when they see like rabbits and things, And the thing is, Podencos were born, or bred, I should say, for hunting rabbits. So when they see a rabbit, they let out this most weird cry that you've ever heard. I mean, it's like a shriek. It goes right through you. And that alerts the hunter to the rabbit. And then they chase the rabbits and flush them out. And Riley does that. Anyway, obviously he's not been taught to do that. That's in his nature. So when he's fighting with Rocky, he normally lets out these high-pitched shrieks, even whether Rocky actually touches him or not. So anyway, so I got them ready. We went out for a walk, and then I had to go to the supermarket to just get a few bits. And literally a few bits, like I was in the supermarket 10 minutes. So we've gone for a walk. Riley's on the lead for the walk. Rocky's not on the lead because he's good. He'll come back to you when you call him back. Riley won't, so he always has to get left on the lead. Put them in the car, go to the supermarket, park outside the supermarket, which is literally, round the corner from where I walk them, round the corner from where I live. they're in that car. If they're in it 10 minutes, I'd be surprised. You know, and the windows cracked down. It was pretty cool at that time. They're parked in the shade. So I don't, you know, there's no, I do it a million times. Literally, obviously, I wouldn't leave them for 2-3 hours while I go off shopping. But literally, if I'm just popping in the supermarket, I bought about 3 different things, bread, you know, basics. Got in the car, everything was fine. Got to the house, which is 5 minutes away from the supermarket. Opened the door to let them out of the car and noticed that Riley is covered in blood. Covered in blood. And not only covered in blood because he's white, a white dog. So you can see, you know, it literally looks like something off a horror film. And I'm going to show you a photo in a minute, so just be aware that it might upset you. Now, he's fine. I just want to say before I show you anything or say any more, he is fine, but he was bleeding from his ear. He's got actions bleeding from one of his ears, and then he's got something else here. And I'm thinking, what? I literally was thinking that when I left them in the car, did somebody open the car door and sort of stab him or something? Because you've never seen blood like it, you know. Anyway, apparently dogs' ears bleed a lot. And of course, they shake their head. So the blood goes everywhere. So my house is like a crime scene, but I still don't actually know what happened. I mean, did they have a fight in the car when I left them? I was literally for 10 minutes. And another dog couldn't have got in unless somebody opened the door. Now, the door wasn't locked, so I always leave the door unlocked just in case anybody needs to get to the dogs or whatever, for whatever reason. I mean, I could collapse in the supermarket or whatever. I'm paranoid about, you know, I don't want people not be able to get the dogs out the car. The window was open a tiny bit just to let air in, you know, never leave them with the windows all the way up. But Riley, right, so let me just warn you now. I'm going to show you a photo of the crime scene in my house this morning. And it looks a lot worse than it is because Riley is fine. Yeah, I think they've, right, exactly. The ears apparently bleed more than any other part of the dog. Now, he's fine. I've tried to clean him. It's just a waste of time at the moment because every time I try and clean his ear, it bleeds a bit more. So apparently should you wait till it stopped bleeding. Anyway, I haven't got a shower head yet. I've got a shower head arriving today, and then I'm going to get him in the shower. But yeah, just please. So this was my floor. This is the living room floor where, because of course, every time Riley shakes his head, there's blood up the walls. There's blood on the curtains. There's blood on the sofa. There's blood everywhere in my house. Now, I've had to put him in the bathroom, and I put him in the bathroom with the window open. He's got his bed in there. He's got his food and water and everything, because I had to contain him to one space, because otherwise he was going running around the house shaking his head, and there's just blood everywhere. Now, this is the photo of Riley, so be aware that it is going to be upsetting, but it's one of those where it looks worse than it isn't because he's white. Look. Oh my God, he looks like someone's thrown paint all over him. This poor little boy. So, is this ear at the end that seems to be bleeding? Or is it, oh no, this is another cut, but this stopped bleeding ages ago. Or is it, I can't remember which one or whether this is the ear. But anyway, one of his ears is bleeding at the tip. So he's been bitten. I think Rocky must have done it to him. He must have. How else could it have happened? He was fine when we were walking. Now, I've put them in the car. And then I started to think, did I shut his ear in the car door when I closed the car door? But Riley would have cried. You know, Riley's not a quiet dog. Do you know what I mean? He cries if you look at him the wrong way. He's like a right wimp. I mean, he just is. So he would definitely have cried. if I would have shut his ear in the car. But I am think, I did think, God, did I shut his ear in the car? But there's another bite. There's like a bite on the other ear, but not on the ear tip, more on the head. I think they've had a proper fight or something. So that's very worrying, because that has never, ever happened before. I mean, Rocky is the more dominant one, and they do play fight a lot, but they don't seriously fight. But how else could it have happened? Because while we were walking, bless him. Oh, bless him. And I wanted to give him, I mean, Riley lets you do anything to let me clean it. It doesn't hurt him, because I've cleaned it, and I've put like kitchen roll. I've been trying to soak up the blood and everything. He's never winced once. So it's not hurting him. It's not hurting him, but he doesn't even seem traumatized, to be honest. And he doesn't seem to be scared of the other dog. He's trying to get to the other dog. He's trying to get out the bathroom, get to the other dog. The other dog's trying to get in the bathroom to be with him. Because of this sort of love-hate relationship, they play fight sometimes, but other times they're curled up together on the sofa. So it's just I just don't know how it happened. 1 minute he was fine, and the next minute it's like a scene from a horror movie in my house. And, literally this is nothing, because this blood is all up the walls, on the curtains, up the sink. It's even on the mirror in the bathroom, which is above the sink, because he's obviously, when he shakes his head, this blood has flown everywhere. Oh my God, what a trauma. So, and it smells. Blood smells, doesn't it? It's like, I feel sick, actually. I do feel sick. I feel a bit better now I'm talking about it. Because, of course, I couldn't talk about it to number one son. He's in bed, won't see him till about 4 o'clock probably, because he's not working till later. But yeah, it was traumatizing. And then I'm thinking, well, do I take him to the vet? And then I'm thinking, well, what's the vet going to do? Because now, obviously, if he was like crying, or, when you touched it, or if there was something. But I think you're right, David. I think what's happened is while I've been in the supermarket, I can't believe I wouldn't hear it, though, because believe me, Riley makes the biggest noise you've ever heard. I'll try and record him one day. My son goes mad. It's like, why is he making that noise? It's the most high-pitched, it's almost like a scream that he makes, as I say, even when he's not being hurt. So I wonder that, if they fought because another dog went past, or, and they do. My Rocky would be trying to get out the window, probably. I can't ever leave the window down too far. A couple of inches, because otherwise he'd be out of it. He likes to bark at other dogs. So it's the Chihuahua in him, I think. Apparently he's got some Chihuahua in him. But oh my God, what a trauma. So in between, literally, me putting him in the car from walking the dogs and then arriving at home, the whole time was probably 20 minutes. Yeah, a couple of minutes driving to the supermarket, literally a couple of minutes, left them in the car for 10 minutes while I popped in the supermarket, another couple of minutes. But it wasn't even 15 minutes in total from putting them in the car, from walking them, where they were fine. Riley was on a lead. So, he didn't get into any trouble with any other. He was never out my sight. He was on the lead right next to me. I feel like I'm living in some sort of dystopian nightmare. So I'm thinking, how the hell did that happen? And then I've let him out the car here at the house. And as he's run up the steps to the door, I can see there's blood everywhere. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And then he's shaking his head and the blood's flying all over me. I'm covered in blood. Oh my God, wouldn't it be nice just to have one day where nothing dramatic happened? Like, anyway, he's fine. I just looked in on him before I started the live. He's fine. Put his bed there in the bathroom. It seems to have stopped bleeding, but I wasn't going to let him back in again just until I've finished the live, because just in case it hasn't. If forensics came to my house now, they'd have a field day. They'd be going, oh yeah, looks like this blood, but it looks like someone's tried to clean it up. I've tried to clean up the living room. The curtains have got soaking because the curtains have got great big blood spats up them. Yeah, from where he shook his head. So that was my morning. So far, I mean, it's still morning. God knows what else can happen. Oh my God. So now I'm going to get on with the live. Listen, thank you for your comments and that. And thank you to listening to me going on, yeah, pet cam in the car. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea, David. That was a suggestion that was on Google as well. They said you can put tape on it, put some gauze on it or kitchen roll or anything, and then tape it loosely, obviously, because not tight. Because he's got these massive ears as well, hasn't he, Riley? You know, he's got these massive sticky up ears. So I think it's caught, whatever's happened, he's had his ear dragged on. And then on Google, it was saying that dogs' ears bleed really easily and they bleed really profusely because there's loads of blood vessels. Whereas whatever's happened here, he's got something here as well, but I can't see it yet until I get the blood off it. I can't get a good look at, if it's anything, but that stopped bleeding ages ago. But yeah, so this is my poor baby this morning. He looks like he's had a die or whatever. And this, it looks like there's blood in his water, but there isn't. That's the reflection of the blood from. But yeah, his whole head is covered in blood. I mean, it's like, what? Oh, but yeah, he's not crying, he's not hurting. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, if it carried on bleeding, that's what it said on Google. You know, we go to Google for everything these days, don't we? It said on Google, you don't need to go to a vet unless it doesn't stop bleeding, obviously. So there you go. Hi, Maria. Thank you, Angel. Oh my God. Staffy smashed the window trying to. Oh, well, he was lucky, wasn't he? Because lucky he didn't get cut. And oh my God, this is it. We love dogs, don't we? We love them, but sometimes I just think, God, I can't stand this trauma. I was looking forward to a lovely quiet day today with no trauma. Anyway, let's get on with. So sorry about those of you who don't like the waffle. Now I'm going to start. Now, I think what I'll talk about first of all. Hi, Lily Paulie. I think what I'm going to talk about first of all is this missing mother and daughter. So we're going to the UK first. Now, this is a missing persons case. That one of my members who regularly sends me suggestions for cases, say, have you heard about this? And it's really good because they're normally cases I haven't heard of before. I like to report on, because you know what, there's people go missing all the time, don't they? And some people get a lot of attention and some people don't. So I do like to report on missing persons cases that you may not know about, because there may be just somebody. I might not be the biggest YouTube channel, but I've got quite a lot of people watch, and there may just be somebody watching who knows something about this missing persons case. So let me put a little picture of him up at the top there. Now, this is unusual, especially. Now I'll put it up bigger while I'll just give you the background for this case. I'd not heard of it. This is Lorna and Emma, and they apparently are mother and daughter. Do you know Lorna? She looks familiar to me. I don't know why, because I haven't, I don't know her, but she does look I think she just looks like somebody that I do know. But Lorna and Emma Nightingale, and these are mother and daughter, and they've gone missing together. They've both gone missing, but they didn't live in the same place either. So that's another strange thing. So it's unusual for two people to, people go missing all the time, but it's unusual for two people to go missing. Do you remember when the twins went missing in Edinburgh? Aberdeen. I think that's what made it so interesting to people, or attracted people's attention so much. It's unusual for two people to go missing at the same time, relatives. You start to wonder what has happened here. How could they both go missing? So these are the people that we're talking about, and now I'm going to read you what the police say about it, just so we get that. Well, now we don't know much about. We don't know much about this. I'm just going to read to you what the police say about it. But yeah, I thought, this, it's always interesting and important, to deal with these. Oh no, this is ITV, and I thought I had the police. Oh yeah. So the Suffolk Constabulary, there's a massive difference in height there, isn't there, between the two, which is, I know children normally end up being a bit of, when I think about it, if you look at my son compared to me, that's a bit like that sort of height difference, isn't it? So on the 24th of August, the police published this statement. Police are appealing for help in tracing two missing women from Lowestoft. 70-year-old Lorna Nightingale was last seen in Lowestoft in February, and 36-year-old Emma Nightingale, the daughter, I think that's the daughter, yeah, of course, she was last seen in Colchester in June. So Lorna, this is Lorna, the mum, and she's described as 5'2" tall, of slim build, with short grey hair. Emma is described as 5'8" tall, with mousy coloured long hair. So do you know these women? I'm going to get up on the map in a minute. You'll see that they actually lived far apart from each other. So it's known that both women have connections to Essex and may have travelled there, and police believe that the women may be together. Officers are particularly concerned for the women's welfare. Anyone who has seen Lorna or Emma, or who has any information, is asked to contact police on 999. And where are they? A mother and daughter who didn't live together. So, for the benefit of people like me, so what we've got, Lowestoft to Colchester directions. I don't know Lowestoft. I don't know Colchester. So let's see where they are as far as the UK is concerned. Let's have a look at this. So if we look at this Google map, all right, so they've got links to Essex, but one of them lived in Colchester and one of them lived in Lowestoft. They're not that far apart. It's 1 hour 46 minutes by car in between them. Got Ipswich here on the way between them. And as far as the actual UK is concerned, just to give people an idea, we're not that far from London. That's a place that most people would know wherever they were in this crazy world. Most people know where London is if they don't know where anything else is in the UK. So now that is literally all the information that we know. So the police are quiet. They're not giving away lots of information. They're just appealing for anyone who's seen them. So if you live in either of those areas, or anywhere in between, really, where are this mother and daughter? See if there's any more on this. Let's just have a look at this ITV story about it. Police have issued an urgent appeal to find 2 women who have been missing for months. Lorna Nightingale, a 70-year-old from Lowestoft, has not been seen since February. Oh my God. I mean, that's a long time. Does sound ominous, doesn't it? Does sound ominous. So Lorna, the mum, 70 years old, she's not been seen since February. But Emma, 36, was last seen in Colchester in Essex in June. So Emma was seen in June, but Lorna hasn't been seen since February. Suffolk police said they were particularly concerned for their welfare and believe they may be together. They have not released any information about how the women know each other, but they are believed to be mother and daughter. Police have issued descriptions of both women that we just read. Lorna, 5'2", slim build, short grey hair. Emma, 5'8" tall with mousy coloured long hair. Both have connections to Essex. So I just wanted to, when my members sort of told me about that, I thought it's unusual for 2 people to go missing from the same family like that, isn't it? And now it looks as if they've gone missing at different times. Yeah. Odd, isn't it? Yeah, all good questions there. Who reported it? Who reported them missing? And yeah, I think the mother does look unwell. She seems to have some problems. Is it Joanne's birthday? Is that Joanne saying? Your birthday, Joanne. Happy birthday to you. Feliz cumpleaños. Hope you're having a good day, or you've had a good day, because I know you're down under, so your day might be finishing now. Yeah, so who reported them missing? I'll try and find out more about it. And yeah, oh, Joanne, that's so kind. Thank you. Cumpleaños. So I'm going to sing you happy birthday in Spanish. Cumpleaños feliz, cumpleaños feliz. Te deseamos todos cumpleaños feliz. Yay! Yeah, I do hope you've had a good time. Thank you for the super sticker. Let me put my thank you up there. Gracias. Thank you. Very kind. You're always very kind. Thank you, Joanne. So yeah, strange, isn't it? So why has the mother been disappeared since February and nobody's reported her missing, and now the daughter's missing? And yeah, who reported the daughter missing? What's happened? Police believe they may be together. So we're going to keep an eye out on that case for any news. If you get any news of it, maybe you're in the area, if you hear anything more local, I will try my best to keep up with it and let you know if any news comes through. But very unusual missing persons case that I hadn't heard of before. So I'm grateful. Thank you to my member for sending me the information about that. Because that's how these things get solved, isn't it? They get solved from the public. They do. The police can criticise, or anyone can criticise social media, etc., all they like. But at the end of the day, that's how news gets around these days. No point in whinging about it. It's the way it is. You have to learn to use it properly. This case will spread through social media one way or another, and the answer will lie with the public or a dog walker. I mean, I hope it isn't that. I hope that there is a more happy outcome. But I'm sorry if someone's missing from February. Somebody goes missing from February, and now we are in September, and there's been no news of them. It's not a positive thing, is it? And now the daughter's gone missing as well. So something untoward has happened one way or another, I think, unless they are together somewhere. Maybe maybe the mum's not well and the daughter's taken her off somewhere. But surely you'd let somebody know, wouldn't you, where you'd gone or whatever. So a mysterious case that we're going to keep an eye on. And thank you for caring about them. Thank you for caring about those two people. And the problem with missing people cases is there are so many of them, and I try to report on ones and then go back to them, like Jack O'Sullivan, etc. I like to try and go back to them and, every now and again, but sometimes there just is no news ever again. It's very sad, isn't it? There's some good suggestions there in chat. Could one of these women be fleeing domestic violence? That's a possibility, and that's why they wouldn't say where they were going. And then, we don't know what the bank activity is, phone activity, do we? For the police to say they're very concerned about their welfare, that suggests to me that there hasn't been any bank activity, etc. Because if there had been bank activity, phone activity, the police would have an idea of where they were, wouldn't they? But it sounds like the reason that the police are concerned is maybe there hasn't. I mean, we just don't know the whole circumstances of why the mother went missing. Maybe she didn't go missing. Maybe she went to stay with her daughter. We just know nothing really, but I'm just reporting it because there may be one of you out there lives in that area or has seen, they're quite distinctive, aren't they? I think that's something we could say without being, it's just the truth. They're distinctive. The height difference between them. Lorna, the mum, looks like maybe she's got some problems with her hair there. Is it just the problems that you get from old age sometimes when your hair thins out, or is there more to it? Has she had some treatment that's made her hair fall out? They're quite distinctive because of the height difference as well. The daughter she's an attractive girl. People would notice her. She's tall, blonde. I wonder if this is a photo from a Christmas. She looks like she's got like a Christmassy top on, or I don't know when the photo was taken. I don't know how recent it is. I don't know what sort of, was it a family gathering? I would stick my neck out and say it wasn't in the summer because the daughter has got like tights on and a jumper, etc. Wasn't a summer. Maybe to me, maybe that's a Christmas photo. I don't know. So sad. And I don't know, no other information so far, Bluebell, and we don't know if there's any other siblings. We don't know who reported them missing, etc. But we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next case that I want to talk to you about today. And this is a sort of update. I think we knew this really, or I certainly felt that this was true. So we're going to the Travis Decker case, and oh my God, I cannot wait for this to be resolved because I just hate talking about this man, this horrible man that took his beautiful 3 daughters for his custody, a couple of hours that he had for custody. And put plastic bags over their head, tied their hands behind their backs, and murdered them. So these 3 little angels, these 3 beautiful girls, which is Peyton, who is the oldest one, and then I think Evelyn is the second oldest. I've forgotten the next. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. Olivia is the little dot in the middle there. I think that's the order of their ages. And look at him on this picture. So he's a great big, muscly. God, what a twonk! What a man, eh? What a man with his stars and stripes shorts, Mr. America. I wonder if he's a MAGA supporter. What a man, taking 3 little girls off and murdering them in cold blood like that. What a man he is. Another button mushroom, no doubt. Anyway, then of course he went on the run, didn't he? And he's been on the run ever since. And nobody knows where he is. And the police don't say that they don't know if he's dead or if he's alive. They have no evidence to support either. He just disappeared from the scene. Where this happened was in Washington State, I think, in the USA. He took them to a national park and murdered them. That's where the police came across them when they were searching for him. But he disappeared, and he left his dog alive. He's gone. So recently the police went back to basics, did a search of the local area, from where the little girls were found. Oh, look at that photo, bless him. That's beautiful, that photo. So how could you? I mean, literally, I'm sorry. People say, no, I might have had PTSD. I don't care how much PTSD. I don't care. Lots of people have PTSD. They don't murder their children. He's just horrible. Sorry, I'm not accepting this mental health thing as an excuse for doing things. I'm just not accepting it. You could not look those little girls in the face, tie their hands behind their back and put a plastic bag over their head. Their last sight was their daddy doing that to them. And he couldn't have done it to all 3 all at once. So 2 of those little girls saw it happening to the other little girls first. Just horrible. Really, this literally, if any, not many cases do keep me up at night. I worry about in the day. I think quite often I dream about cases. I haven't dreamt about this case actually, but this one, if any, it haunts me because we don't know where he is as well. So he's said to be armed and dangerous. His poor wife, Whitney, the mother of these girls, imagine what trauma she's going through. And also, he's not been caught, so she won't feel safe, will she? No one's safe. Well, this man is if he is on the run, I still think he's probably deceased somewhere. But why they haven't found the body, I don't know, because, maybe he isn't. Maybe he did escape and go on the run. And maybe he took himself off to kill. I still think he's local there somewhere. Anyway, the update basically is a couple of days ago, I think I reported that the police, when they did this new search of the area close to where these poor little girls were found, they found bones. But, you just knew that it wasn't Travis, because the police said they couldn't be sure if they were human bones or animal bones. But, the police know when there's, even if the actual police that are searching don't maybe know if it's, human bones or animal bones. And I know they can't just say it, but I think they would have said instantly they'd found human remains. They knew they were animal bones, I believe. But they just wanted to confirm, send them off for tests or whatever to confirm, because they didn't want to give out false information, which is good. But yeah, I think they would have known. But the police, certainly the forensic people, know the difference between human bones and animal bones just by looking at them, I would imagine. So anyway, the update basically is, no, David, they are animal bones. So that this is the update. They have confirmed that they are animal bones that were found. They're not even human bones, never mind Travis's. I think they knew that right from the beginning. but they just wanted to confirm it. Anyway, they have confirmed it. These bones do not belong to Travis Decker. Let me just share the article. They don't belong to Travis Decker. They don't belong to any human being. They belong to an animal. Bless. Poor animal. Let's have a look. So yeah, Travis Decker manhunt continues as the remains found near Washington campsite are not human, according to the FBI. So there you go. It's not him. It's not any person. But they are, gosh, what was I going to say? So that's been confirmed. They're not him. They're not even human remains. They're animal remains. So a press release shared by the FBI Seattle division on Wednesday, September the 3rd, states that remains found within the vicinity of the Rock Island campground are not those of the missing father. So it's back to square one again, isn't it, in this case? I wonder if I can get the press release up. Yeah, so this is the actual FBI update on the 3rd of September, yesterday. The following statement may be attributed to W. Mike Harrington, Special Agent in charge of the FBI Seattle Field Office. On August the 25th and 26th, FBI Seattle and partners participated in a 2-day grid search operation within the vicinity of the Rock Island campground near Leavenworth, Washington. During the search, personnel recovered multiple bones, including those that required additional examination to determine if they were animal or human. Central Washington University has reviewed the bones and assessed that they are not human. So while we do not anticipate further updates related to this specific search, that's disappointing, isn't it? The investigation continues. This extensive search was just one step in a 3-month process by a variety of agencies to locate Travis Decker, discover signs of his whereabouts, or find any other evidence of the murder of his 3 daughters. In 2 days, the search team cleared almost 250 acres by carefully covering rough terrain on foot, and further efforts can build on the knowledge we gained through the electronic mapping of the area. FBI Seattle is committed to our continued collaboration with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Marshals Service, the U.S. Forest Service, and other partners to locate Decker, and we're committed to bringing every available FBI resource that will advance this case for as long as it takes. If we have any updates, we'll share as soon as we're able. Okay, so what's this? More information. What's the multimedia? I'm not sure how you get onto that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, don't know how to get onto that. But, I will, of course, any updates, I'll let you know. As soon as I know, we'll follow this case through to the end whenever it happens, where he's either actually apprehended or found deceased. Either will do, to be honest, because just want to know that he's not roaming around free, don't we? Because this man is a danger to everyone, and especially his ex-partner Whitney. But he's a danger to anyone, because this is a man that murdered his own 3 daughters. So he would not stop short at killing anybody else, would he, if he got the chance? So. Yeah. Bye, Angel. So, That's all I've got to tell you about that. So these remains were not Travis Decker's. The situation stays the same. He's still being looked for, and hopefully will be found soon. And these little three angels will get some justice. Bless them. You know how awful to be let down by your own father like that. That just haunts me that was the last face they saw was his. You know, the man they should have been able to trust. And probably at least one of these girls, or probably two of them, saw the other girl being murdered. One of the girls, at least, being killed before it was their turn, unless he took them off to different. You know, it just doesn't even bear thinking about. I try my very best not to think about the actual event itself, and I just hope, you know, at the end of the day, at least now, for these girls, they're sleeping in the arms of angels, I hope. And I just feel for their mum so much, because she's got to carry on in this world, and her whole, you know, family has been taken away. Her whole 3 daughters, just for spite, probably. You know, he's a disgusting man, Travis Decker. Disgusting. Can't wait to put him in the hellhole. When he's found, one way or another, he'll go in the hellhole. I can't wait. Okay, so that is that news. Was not Travis Decker. He's still on the run, unfortunately. Now, that led me to cover this, which I haven't covered yet. I've been watching it because I always follow the Australian news. And I have been watching this manhunt. So there's a big manhunt. I don't know if any of you know about it. I think if you're in Australia, you probably will know about it because it's all over the news. So this man, who ironically enough is called Dezi Freeman, and he has killed or allegedly murdered 2 police officers, and then he ran off into the what's the word? No, into the outback, he ran off, and he's been on the run ever since. And this has been quite a long time. And he seems to be getting help from people. Now, this is so similar to the Travis Decker case because, again, where is he? You know, he's supposedly on the run in the outback. I think the police went to arrest him and he ran off. So he wasn't prepared, I wouldn't think. But it seems like he may have been getting help from people. Now, this man, Dezi, he's one of those people that says he doesn't belong to any state. You know, he's like free, like he's anti-government, he was anti-COVID rules, he's anti-everything. You know, quite often these people, they're anti-everything, and you think, well, what are you pro? You know, what are you for? It's just, anti this, anti that, anti the other. But what is he for? What is he pro? And why did he kill 2 police officers? Because whatever you think of the police or not, they are doing a job. Whether you think they're good, you think they're bad, or whatever they are, nobody should be murdered, you know, in the process of their daily job. You know, whether you know, if you think that the police are corrupt or what, you know, killing someone is never justified, really, is it? That's why I don't believe in the death penalty. As much as sometimes, certainly after covering all these true crime cases, you think, God, maybe they should bring the death penalty back. But my main sort of objection to the death penalty is no one has the right to take someone's life. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Yet, put them in prison, throw away the key. Yes, I don't have any, you know, make their life miserable. I don't have any compunction about that. They don't deserve any sympathy. They don't deserve it. But, you know, I don't see the difference between the state killing someone or a twonk like that killing someone. So I don't know if you've heard about this case. So it's been a long manhunt. He shot and killed 2 police, and they turned up. Hi, David. They turned up at his home, apparently, didn't it? And he just ran off. How did he do that? So as I said, I've been sort of watching it in the background for a while. I haven't done a deep sort of dive on it. So a lot of the things, hey, Julie, good to see you. A lot of things that I'm talking about are new to me as well, because I don't know the full details of it all. So we're sort of learning about it together. But it reminds me of the Travis Decker case. So of course in Australia as well, where he's gone, where he's ran off to, is a very, huge terrain. It's not easy to search, but this part of me is thinking, is he deceased? Now, they've made a lot of arrests, just not him. Seem to have arrested lots of his friends and accomplices, or not accomplices, that's not the right word, acquaintances. And the police have said that they think he's getting help, to have survived all this time. Where is he? So let's have a little investigation into. So first of all, I want to show you. What shall I show you first? Just where it's happened, I think, first. Okay, so if we go to Google Maps, this is the area. It's near Mount Buffalo National Park in Porepunkah, Victoria, Australia. So, well, you can just see by looking at the Google Maps there. I mean, you're looking at a very... it's not that far from Melbourne, Wagga Wagga, all these places, Canberra over there. As I say, I don't know a lot about Australian geography. I don't know a lot about geography, full stop. But I know a little bit more now after the Erin Peterson case and the Samantha Murphy case. Oh, and here, Tasmania. Now, I've got a video to make about Tasmania soon. There's a suspected serial killer in Tasmania. Don't know if you know about, but anyway, that's for another video. We're looking, this is where he went missing. This is where he lived in Porepunkah. And apparently, when the police went to arrest him, he just ran off into the woods, into the national park, which is, amazing, really, isn't it, that he could do that? How did they not arrest, how did they not capture him on the spot? Did he get notification? Did he have a warning? Sometimes there's leaks on police forces. Did somebody find out that the police were going there? He literally ran out of his house and into the woods, apparently, from what I can gather. There's probably some of you out there that are watching maybe know more about it than me. So give me any information. So. Oh, I hope your dad recovers, Julie. I hope your dad recovers soon. So, let's hear a bit about him, the actual guy himself. Who is Dezi Freeman? I think it's quite ironic that his name is Freeman, because he thinks he is a free man. He doesn't associate with any state. He's a sovereign citizen. If you know about sovereign citizens, people, and I see their point. I don't feel like I identify with any state. I'm a human being. I'm a human being as far as I'm concerned. I'm a British and I'm European and I live in Spain. So, people give all these titles, and not necessarily a good thing either. To me, I'm a human being. I'm a citizen of this planet. Now, I don't know if that's his sort of view on things, but anyway, so the Porepunkah shooting suspect has association with sovereign citizen ideas and called police terrorist thugs. So this is like a terrorist attack, wouldn't it? It would be considered a terrorist attack. But of course, he thinks that the police are terrorists, but the police would call him a terrorist. And there's probably some of you out there maybe sympathise with him a little bit. I've always got a little bit of sympathy, not for murdering police officers. That I don't sympathise with that at all. But, people that have this idea of sovereign citizenship, well, they're entitled to feel like that, aren't they? But of course, it is the state that they would turn to if they needed help. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So, yeah, you can imagine that shooting 2 police officers, I mean, he's going to get shot on sight, isn't he? Probably. I wouldn't think they were that interested in bringing him back alive, really, unless they wanted him to face a trial. So he has a history, apparently, he has a history of association with pseudo law and sovereign citizen ideas and influences. So, Dezi Freeman, the man suspected of shooting and killing 2 police officers and injuring a third at a rural property in Porepunkah, Victoria, said he had a history of unpleasant encounters with the force. So he called the police force terrorist thugs, friggin' Nazis, Gestapo, and said they wore the satanic symbol of an inverted pentagram on their uniforms, according to court records. And he also has a history of association with pseudo-law and sovereign citizen ideas. So about 10:30 local time on Tuesday, so this wasn't this Tuesday just gone, this was the Tuesday before, the police were fired upon while they were attempting to execute a search warrant at a rural property. So that's how this all came about. They were trying to serve or to carry out a search warrant on his property, and he shot them. And then apparently he ran into the bush. Just literally ran into the bush after he shot them. Strange. So the Victorian Police Chief Commissioner Mike Bush, you couldn't make this shit up, could you? Said the suspect was believed to be heavily armed and remained at large on Wednesday night. Well, he's still at large now, over a week later. And they'd been executing a search warrant on Tuesday in relation to alleged sexual offending by Freeman, who was previously known as Desmond Philby. So probably he had give himself that name, Freeman, Dezi Freeman. I thought, God, it's coincidental his name's Freeman, but it sounds like he's given himself that name. So his original name is Desmond Philby. So court records paint a picture of a man with a deep distrust of police and embrace of conspiracies. He once, for example, attempted to arrest a magistrate during a bizarre court hearing in Wangaratta. Last year, a Victorian County Court judge found him guilty of using a mobile phone while driving and refusing to provide a saliva sample to police in September 2020 on the Great Alpine Road. But he lodged a legal battle after the judge cancelled Freeman's licence and disqualified him from obtaining a licence for a period of 2 years from the 8th of April 2024. Well, do you know what? I mean, that, he was probably angry about that, but really, and now he's being wanted for much more serious things. I mean, it's not that long till next April 2026. So, he would have been better off just waiting till it expired, wouldn't he, than going and shooting 2 policemen dead. So a Supreme Court judgment published last November after Freeman sought judicial review of the county court decision showed he tried to argue that the police radar device used to detect speed may have been influenced by power lines and transformers or microwave transmissions in the area. Oh, he's very similar to Erin Patterson, and he's full of BS. I don't know. You just think he's criticising the police, so it's like he can do whatever he wants. I don't know what his SEX offences are, and maybe he's not guilty of them, but he's not. He thinks he can just go off and do is that what he means by being a free man? Just do what the hell you like. Rules, like it or not, society was built on rules and laws because years ago, when there were no rules or laws, it wasn't a good place society. I mean, it might not be perfect now, but at least there are some. We have to have rules, we have to have laws, we have to have norms, because otherwise we couldn't all live together, could we? Anyway, during cross-examination in the county court, he accused an officer of arranging for one of her colleagues to cancel Freeman's firearms license after the incident, which she denied. And Freeman said, "How was it fair that when I haven't arrested you for the multitude of crimes you have committed, that I haven't exposed you or other police to the multitude of crimes they have committed? For the logs in their eyes, how is it fair that you go after me for this splinter in mine?" There was during the Erin Peterson trial, do you remember, somebody did go into court, didn't they, make a protest, nothing to do with Erin Peterson or the actual trial, but against the judge, didn't it? It sounds like a similar thing. Maybe it was him, I don't know, because we never found out who it was. But yeah, somebody went in and made a protest during the Erin Peterson trial. So he told the court he had had a difficult childhood, but had overcome disadvantage, though he had a history of unpleasant encounters with police officers. And he claimed that during the police intercept, which started while he was on the way to a local fish and chip shop with his children in the car, oh my God, and ended when he sped down a dirt road in Porapunka, he was acting in self-defense. "I felt threatened and preyed upon. Even the sight of a cop or a cop car, it's like an Auschwitz survivor seeing a Nazi soldier." Well, Dezi, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. That's actually so disrespectful, because seeing a police officer in Australia, in modern day Australia, is not like an Auschwitz survivor seeing a Nazi soldier. You cannot even compare it. What's worse than a swastika is the inverted pentagram, the satanic symbol that they wear, and they behave like it as well. No, they don't. Whether you like the police or not, they don't do that. They're not as bad as Nazis. Hi, Sugar Cat. Yeah. What was I going to say there? Something somebody said there. Yeah, no, apparently they were going to arrest him for sex charges, according to this article. But no, there you go. I'm just reading the article, but where am I? I've lost the article now. So he said that he had been a subject of past unlawful conduct by officers as part of a lifetime of bullying and predatory behaviour by police. I'm sorry, I think it's a Fruit Loop. So you can be distrustful of the police, and I'm not saying all the police are perfect, because I know that they're not. But, just the more I say, I was watching some of those body cams again last night from America, and I just thought, oh my God. There was one guy, probably a guy a little bit like him, that I was watching, and he was so scary. How the police didn't shoot him, I don't know, because I was literally sat here watching it and saying, just shoot him, because he was so violent, he was so aggressive, and he was blaming the police for everything. It was all their fault. And he was, the reason they arrested him or stopped him to talk to him was because he'd broken a restraining order against his wife and just walked into his old house where his wife was living with the child, and just walked in there and was causing trouble. And he was terrifying. I'll tell you, if I was his wife, I would move. I would have to move. I know it's not easy to move, but as long as he knows where that wife is, he disregarded this is the body cam that I watched. He disregarded the restraining order. He was as nutty as a fruitcake. You could see it, and he was going out of control. You could just see it. And then, the police they tried to just calm him down and move him on. He wasn't having any of it. It's all their fault, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And I just thought, oh my God, you need the patience of a saint to be a police officer. I would have shot him by then, honestly, because he looked so scary as well. And he's going to hurt that wife of his. You could just see that he's going to do it, and it don't matter. You could give him 300 restraining orders. It will never make any difference to a man like that, because he's entitled to walk into that house, even though he's been, he's supposed to have left it. So if I was his wife, I would move, because I would never feel safe there, because you're not, the police can't be there 24 hours, 24/7. One day that man is going to sneak into that house and probably do something to his wife, because he certainly looked as if he was going to. So yeah, this guy, a lifetime of bullying and predatory behaviour by the police. Now, yeah, not all police are perfect, but tell you what, I just don't believe that. So a video of the interaction with officers referred to in the Supreme Court judgment showed him calling the officers terrorists and saying, "Out here with guns, terrorising my kids again." I think his kids are probably more frightened of him than they are of the police. "I've been to court 15 times because of you corrupt scum, you corrupt filth." So Justice James Gorton noted in his Supreme Court judgment that Freeman, who represented himself in the proceedings, all the ones that end up representing themselves, they're all Fruit Loops, aren't they? And in the county court, felt genuinely aggrieved at losing his licence for 2 years, as it would seriously interfere with him and his family's life and lead to hardship. So he's believed to have lived in the region for most of his life. He claimed on social media to have taken a photo in the nearby Kiowa Valley in about 2004 that was used in tourism brochures in the area. Other family members also live in the state northeast. In 2019, he helped fundraise for his younger brother James Philby after the shock death of his wife. She died from a bacterial infection that also left James in intensive care. So he was arrested in 2021 while at a protest outside Myrtleford Court over 2019 allegations of sexual related offending. In footage of him being taken into custody, he identified himself as Dezi Freeman when asked his name. So he also, what's he done? So a private prosecution against the then Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, accusing him of treason during COVID. Dear me. So, yeah, he's had neighbours disputes on a pseudo-law podcast in 2019. He called himself a photographer and described his battle with newcomers from Melbourne, who he claimed had closed off a road that's been used for 120 years. This guy, he argues with everyone. He's had disputes with everyone. He thinks he's a law unto himself. And you know what? I think his children are safer without him. My personal opinion. Could you imagine what life's like in his household? He argues about everything. He's aggressive. He's, so, and all those guns. Oh, God. So this is the big news, obviously, in Australia. It's you've got the Travis Decker manhunt in America, in Washington State, and now this is a big. There was something I wanted to just look into there, but I don't know. Anyway, now let me just put a couple of windows down because I just want to show you. I've got a little video I want to show you. So this is where the reporters were looking. Just want to have a look at So this is one of the reporters who's been looking. Now I found this really interesting because when I was saying about Samantha Murphy and this dream that I had about Samantha Murphy, where she was sort of sitting up, and I thought, I think Samantha Murphy has been hidden in a place like this. Well, we'll see. Time will either tell me right, prove me right or wrong, just a dream I had. And when I saw this video of this reporter looking at possible places where this Dezi Freeman might be hiding, I thought, oh my God, that's just like the dream I had. Let's have a look.
This is what it's like deep in the national park, where police still believe Dezi Freeman is hiding. The terrain is thick with caves and mines just like this, all a challenge for the hundreds of officers on the ground. But this particular mine here was searched and cleared by heavily armed officers earlier this week, with no sign of the fugitive. I'll have all the latest at 4 and 6 o'clock on 7 News.
Yeah, so is he hiding?
This is what it's like deep in the national park, where police still believe Dezi Freeman.
Is he hiding in, one of those places? Is he being helped? As I say, lots of people have been arrested. And now his wife has made an appeal for him to give himself up, but she will not give a statement. She's probably terrified of this man, I think. Let's just have a look. As I say, I'll just put some windows down. Do you think she'd be living in fear, this woman? She's probably been living in fear for years, I think. God, you'd just be glad to see the back of him, to be honest. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? Let me just check.
She's urging the accused cop killer to hand himself in. Marley Freeman released.
Freeman's wife is urging the fugitive to call police and surrender, claiming she doesn't share the accused double murderer's anti-authority views. Marley Freeman says she's cooperating with the manhunt and anyone helping her husband should stop. Mimi Becker has the latest.
She's the woman who's long stood by Freeman's side. Now she's urging the accused cop killer to hand himself in. Marley Freeman releasing a statement through her lawyer saying, please, Dezi, if you see or hear this, call 000 and arrange a surrender plan.
I can't think of Des being that person that would surrender, unfortunately.
Stephen Mallett says he's never met the fugitive, but like Freeman, is a member of a doomsday prepper group. And on Friday, police arrested the 61-year-old over drug and weapon offences.
Then the hog tied my hands behind my back with electrical ties. Why would I have any sympathy for him? I don't know him.
The former outlaw bikie gang member is adamant he's not helping the so-called sovereign citizen. And the mother of his 3 children is urging anyone who is to call 000 immediately and speak to the police. On Thursday, she was the one being interviewed by investigators, the 42-year-old arrested and then released. Her town remains in the grip of the hunt for her husband, but unlike him, Marley says, my children and I respect the important work of Victoria Police and do not hold anti-authority views.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because how could she live with him? Or maybe she's suffering, domestic violence or he looks like a very controlling person. Now, but apparently she won't give this statement or something that they're asking for. So, but as I say, she is probably terrified of this man. Terrified. So until he's actually caught and she knows he's not coming after her, she probably won't be 100% cooperative just in case. But, yeah, gosh, poor woman, Sometimes, you marry someone, they're not like that in the beginning. Then what happens when they turn into a right Fruit Loop like him? how do you get away from them? You've got children and she's probably economically dependent on him. I'm not sure what job he does, if he even has a job. Be ironic, really, if he was on some sort of benefits, seeing how he's, he's stateless, according to him. He's a free citizen. He doesn't have a state, but he probably takes the benefits from the state. Do you know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, states, again, you won't ever agree with everything your state does, whatever state you belong to. And it is actually, a human right to belong to a state. So people cannot be made stateless. This is supposedly international law, isn't it? And yeah, states control us. Of course they do. In some ways, they do things, but things you can't just accept a state, like say you accept the benefits from a state that state gives you. You can't accept those benefits and then say, oh no, but I don't agree with the state. Well, either you agree with the state or you don't. There are some things that the state will do that you won't agree with. And there are things that you will agree with. There's no perfect state. I believe in free speech, and I believe in speaking up against the state if you need to, if you don't agree with what they're doing. But you can't just say, all police are Nazis or whatever, and be against it and then take benefits, for example. What do you want? Do you want a state or don't you want a state? From what I've learned about people is they want a state as long as they're doing the things they agree with, but they don't appreciate, that other people have different opinions. The state is elected by the people in democracies anyway. And, nowhere's a true democracy, is it? But at the end of the day, you get government. You can put pressure on the government to do things that you want them to do. And some, often they'll do things that you don't want them to do. But what's the alternative then? Anarchy. Anarchy doesn't work. You wouldn't like anarchy. Could you imagine anarchy? You couldn't even go out to the shops or whatever, without somebody. So somebody attacks you, steals your bag. You can't even ring the police because there are no police because it's anarchy. It's just ridiculous. It all sounds good in this utopian world. It's like communism, the same. Communism is a fantastic ideal. It doesn't work in real life. It doesn't work. And the thing is, democracy and, Western democracy isn't perfect either, but it works better than some of the other systems. You wouldn't want to go and live in communist China where you're completely controlled, would you? So if you're looking for a perfect state, it's never going to happen because, there's people, for a start, people. We need laws and we need norms and things like that. Can't have nutters like it. He would terrify me if he was living in my village. Somebody wandering around with all those weapons and just doing what he thinks he should be able to do, thinking laws aren't there to be respected. I don't want to live in a world like that. Do you? What do these people expect? Overthrow the government and then what? Who's going to lead? Where are the laws? Where's the safety? We might not have brilliant laws and safety and we might want more, but it's better than anarchy.
Everyone knows that these scumbags are butthurt because they're obsessed with power.
Dezi Freeman's nephew Luke and the extended Philby family is desperate to distance themselves from the lone wolf who's hiding in the high country.
That's always been Dez's holy place. He's always told me if he wanted to be dead and buried somewhere, it's going to be on Mount Buffalo. That's how he wants to die.
As police continue to hunt for Freeman in these hills, his wife has paid tribute to their slain colleagues, saying she and her children feel deep sorrow with the family and friends.
Oh, there you go. So he's getting disability pension, but he doesn't agree with the state. Well, don't have the disability pension then. God, disgusting. This happens all the time. When you've seen the riots in the UK and things like that after the Southport stabbings and all these people that don't even work, they're probably on gyros, benefits out there. Otherwise, if they weren't on benefits, how could they be causing all that trouble in the middle of the day? Get them to work, I say. Don't give them any benefits. Give them benefits so they can go out and get drunk and protest. Make people terrified about going out the house. And it's happening now. I'm sorry, I believe in peaceful demonstration 100%. But when some people go out like that, living on, most of the people that joined in those riots at the Southport stabbings, the high content of people that already had convictions for domestic violence. This is what they do. They just drink all day. They go home, they give the wife a slap around. Then they, as I say, often say is they complain about immigrants, and then probably after they've had this drink and a bit of a riot, slap the wife around, then they go for a curry or a Chinese or a kebab, or, those things. They're not, that they think are British things. Like, it just, honestly, they're brain dead, these people. And the more I hear about him, I think he's brain dead. I hope they catch him soon. And you know what? They want to stop his disability pension straight away.
Of Neil Thompson and Vadim Devat.
That grief is raw and close to home for these young Beechworth footballers. Neil Thompson was a regular on the sidelines to watch his stepchildren play. Now the community is wrapping its arms around a family facing the unimaginable.
Definitely hitting close to home for our club.
Just show our support for these guys that have made the ultimate sacrifice protecting our community.
In Paulpunka, Mimi Becker, 9 News.
Let's bring in Isabel Quinlan now, who's at the Ford Command Centre in Ovens. Izzy, where have police been searching this afternoon?
So who's the most like a Nazi from Auschwitz? The police who are just doing their job, that got murdered in the line of duty, or him who killed 2 police in the line of duty, living off disability pension, and while in the meantime complaining about the state. And he's comparing the police to Nazis from Auschwitz. He's a Fruit Loop. Sorry, I hope they catch him soon. But I'm going to start following this now more closely. I haven't followed it yet. I've seen it in the peripheries. As I say, I always follow the Australian news. And I've been thinking, they're going to get him. But I will follow this now.
Pete, they've been searching Mount Buffalo National Park, which has been closed to the public for days. Officers have been there for the last 4 hours, and they've been really focusing their search on the Robin Creek area, which is where we've seen the helicopter hovering. It is incredibly tough terrain as well as conditions. We've got another cold night ahead. So as day 6 of the manhunt wraps up, Pete.
Thank you so much for that, Isabel Quinlan.
So, of course, we're a bit further on now from that. I think it's been 10 days and still no sign. But I will, as soon as I know anything, you will know. Because this twonk, along with Travis Decker, they need... I wonder if he's still alive, or maybe he's done something to himself. I don't know. But let me know what you think, as always, in comments. What do you think about this twonk? Or do you think he's, a hero, like an anti-hero type person, like he thinks he is? Everyone's entitled. Whatever opinion you've got on him, you might be sympathetic towards him. That's fine, as long as you're respectful about it. But all I would say is get his disability. See, now I don't believe in the state. Why is he even getting a disability pension? This is what I mean. These people that take from the state when it suits them, and then in the other words, it's like, oh no, the state's terrible, the police are terrible, everything's terrible. And also, if this person had some problem, like maybe when his children get older and one of them, has a problem with somebody else, he's the type, he'd be straight on the phone to the police. Come on, you come and sort this out. Come and help my child, or come and help me, or come and help my wife. It's like, just thickos that they can't see it. They want the best of the state, and they don't want, but then they want to, what's he going to be the president? Is he going to tell us what to do then? We just have to live within certain rules and norms. We have to. That is the way. Otherwise, it would be total chaos if people could just go around doing whatever the hell they wanted to, with no police force, no, no protection. As much as, it might rankle us when things, there are things we don't like, but you've got to take the good with the bad, haven't you? Have you watched The Walking Dead? I mean, I think maybe Dezi should watch The Walking Dead and see what happens when everything disappears. People don't just live together peacefully. You'll always get someone who wants to kill somebody else, rob somebody else, rape somebody else. That's how it is. That's why I like the Walking Dead series. I think it's very representative of how society would be if we didn't have any laws, etc. And as I say, even though some of the laws we've got might irritate us, but we have to take the good with the bad. I don't like wearing a seatbelt when I'm driving, but I have to do it because that's the law. Don't always do it. It's probably the most common time I break the law is by not wearing a seatbelt. And that's my thing. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's me. There's lots of laws come in, isn't it, that you think, oh, why? I don't know if I agree with that. But obviously things like murder and RAPE and offences against people, these are important laws, and the police are there to uphold them. He is a halfwit, isn't he, David? Oh, anyway, so I'll keep you informed about that. So I'm going to go, and I haven't had any breakfast yet, because those of you who watched this video from the beginning, you'll know that I've had a little bit of a trauma today with one of my dogs. I'm going to go and just I think he's fine. Going to go and make sure he's okay, get something to it. I didn't feel like eating earlier. I felt actually quite dizzy from all the trauma, but I feel a bit better now that I've been talking to you guys. I had a little rant and got things out of my system. Hi, Sean. Yeah, he does think he's Rambo. He couldn't be any further from Rambo, could he? It couldn't be any further from Rambo. So let's put thank you for watching. Thank you for please don't forget to let me put my like and subscribe up. I feel a little bit sick now, actually, but I think that's because I haven't eaten. I need to eat something, don't I? I know I've gone a little bit dizzy, but can't find my thank you, so it's got to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Sorry, my like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a completely free way you can help out my channel. Very important. Why not think about becoming a member? Tonight is Members Live. Something else that I wanted to... Oh, yeah, I want to say thank you to Joanne, who very generous chatter. Thank you. And again, happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños. And yeah, to everybody, thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And hopefully, by the time we do the next video, one of these twonks at least might have been found. Either Dezi Freeman or Travis Decker. And yeah, and don't forget about the girls that are missing, the mother and daughter. Sorry, I'm okay. The mother and daughter, Lorna and Emma, missing. So I will be chopping up this video into 3 shorter videos. So don't forget, if you know anything about them, ring the police. That's in the UK. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, I hope the dog is going to... He's fine. He's fine. It's one of those that just... Apparently, when bleeding from the ear in dogs, there's so many blood vessels in the ear. It literally looked like... it's so... Sorry, let me just take that off so I can... you can see. Just looks so... Look. Just looks like he's been, it looks so much worse than it is. He's not crying when I touch it. There's nothing. It's obviously not hurting him. But the blood, oh my God. I really feel like I've had to clean up a crime scene. He's in the bathroom now. Put him in the bathroom to sort of contain the blood because it is everywhere. So he keeps shaking his head. Every time he shook his head while it was still bleeding, I'm hoping it'll stop bleeding now. I can let him out into the rest of the house. So every time he shook his head, just flew everywhere. It's in places you wouldn't even imagine it could get to, like the bathroom mirror, up above the sink. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring about Riley, my little baby. Oh, because Riley's just so sort of, I don't know how to put it, like my other dog, he's lovely as well, but he is, he's more dominant. Riley's just a little wuss, really, and he just sort of goes along with anything, bless him. So I hope he's okay. See you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God go with you. And don't forget, why not become a member and join us tonight? Thank you. Bye.